Yeah, like this is
the
easy part.
There's so much going on in the world.
Some of y'all need more whimsy in your life. I just think that we need to be more whimsical.
So there's like this thread between all of these things, and when we're tapping into like our feminine energy and our creative energy, I feel like all of these other things kind of light up as well.
Welcome back to another episode of Sessions for the Soul.
Yeah, welcome back and happy spring. This is our first episode this spring, right?
Yes, we just had spring equinox. It was so wet here when it happened, but the weekend was really beautiful here, and the sun is, I feel like our springs are kind of wet.
Yeah. Which is what makes it so beautiful here, because then we get all the greenery and the flowers and all the things. I didn't even realize it was spring equinox because I went to my sister's bachelorette party this weekend, and when I got back, I brought a friend some flowers, and then as I was doing that, I was like, wait, it's spring. Like, I totally missed the transition of winter to spring. So
we're here.
I had to like reorient.
Yeah. We're here. We're in it. It's exciting. I'm ready for, just for like the blooming and the sun to return. Yeah. It was really sunny this morning here, and now it's quite literally like torrential downpour.
I know. I feel like I'm dressed for sun, and I have my little tulip cup and flowers, and because it was so beautiful this morning, and now it's actually pouring. So
I know. And that is the Pacific Northwest in really any season, but I feel like it really ramps up like from like, March to June, and then like again like November time. It's like October too, sometimes like super sunny, and then like storm out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so we're just in it, you guys. We're getting through the weather. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we start with I said, I think we should just address comments that we get from time to time on the YouTube. Matt, we're looking at you, whoever you are, Matt. But the comments of like just noticing the human nature of just like recording a podcast and using filler words like and just all the silly little things that we do. And so it's actually been really fun, and I think humbling, and we've talked about this before in a few different contexts, but to have this kind of production that's just very casual, and
it's us doing it.
It's just us. It's like the raw version of just like having conversation. And so it's always funny when someone points out the little things that we do in conversation that we all do.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, we all do them. It was great. So essentially what Matt said was like, if I were playing a drinking game, for how many times you guys have said like in the last 5 minutes or whatever, I would be blackout drunk.
Yeah.
And honestly, it made me laugh very hard.
It was funny.
That's hilarious.
I sent it to you, because sometimes we get shitty comments and I actually delete them because they're not even funny. They're just mean.
Oh, I'm sure. I can only imagine.
That's ridiculous. We're not leaving those up. Be funny. If you're going to be mean, be funny.
Absolutely. If you're funny, I can appreciate the bluntness.
Absolutely.
If you're just being cruel, oh my God. I'm so glad that, because same.
Yeah.
When I first like got on the internet in like 2022, 21 maybe, I got some crazy mean comments on a TikTok I posted.
Oh no.
And I was like, I can't do this. I'm getting off the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like,
you gotta develop that thick skin.
Yeah. Well, and also realize like people who are chronically online are like,
oh yeah, they need a hug, I think. And also some of them literally are not even real human beings. So there's that element too, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to let this like ruin my day, One
of my other favorite comments we got one time is, I was barefoot. And the person was like,
wear your shoes.
No, literally like, why don't you have socks on? Like, I don't want to see your feet. And I was
friends, we are like, this is like casual coffee shop. We are literally in my living room. Like, this is very low key.
Yeah, the production team, you're looking at it, okay? Like, that's the thing we were talking about before this, because we're just like leveling up on some things that we're like providing to the experience, and we're trying to always get better for you guys and also get better for ourselves. This is like a labor of love for us, and a project that we're both really passionate about. But we were both joking like, and one day maybe we'll have a production team to help with this stuff, because like there's a lot of like, okay, I'll set the timer, going back and forth like this and that, and you guys,
there's a lot that goes into this behind the scenes.
Yeah, like this is
the easy part.
This is the easy part. So Yeah, thank you, Matt. Honestly, I'm dying to know who Matt is.
I know.
Because if we know them, that'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Or know of them. It's probably just a stranger, but
yes,
nonetheless.
We appreciate your comment, Matt. So anyway, just wanted to address that.
Yeah, we're gonna say like and
maybe we'll try and do a little better, but also maybe not.
we're aware of it. Mindfulness is the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Just wanted to bring that up. So do we want to do and I said what I said?
Let's do it.
Go for it.
Okay, mine is really relevant to today's episode unintentionally. It's less than when I said what I said and more of a hot take, I think, but still both. Some of y'all need more whimsy in your life. I just think that we need to be more whimsical. Like as a whole, the world is on fire and like life is so serious. I think as humans, we're so serious all the time.
Yeah.
Go play outside. Put on a wig. Do a freaking Hannah Montana concert in the living room. Like that's literally it. You guys need to play more. Some of us need to play more. Some of us more than others need just to be more whimsical. Okay. And so that's really been on my mind. Like,
I love it so much. And I agree 100%. Like just like being silly, being whimsical, like the free spirit vibe. We went to a club over the weekend, which is not my scene, but was really fun. And there was a group of women who walked in with gray wigs. And you saying wigs reminded me of this. And it was so fun because it's like so silly to do that and to like go to a club with gray wigs on, but it was someone's, I think, 40th birthday maybe. And so it's like being silly and like not caring what other people might think about you or doing something that's going to make you maybe stand out a little bit from the crowd or whatever it is. But yeah, bringing that back, like being fun and playful and silly.
Yes, like just why everything is serious, you know? Like go do your makeup silly. Like I remember when we were kids, like we would just, what do you want to do? Like let's just do our makeup, and we would just like be so silly. You know what I mean? And just playing, I think, and having fun. I love a wig moment. I love a dress up moment. I love just dancing, you know. Bring a little magic into the moment. Let's like have fun.
Yeah.
The seriousness, it's not going anywhere.
No, and it just like doesn't feel super fun either. Like it just starts to feel a little boring and dry.
Yeah.
And
heavy.
Very heavy. And also like what's the point of always being so serious and so heavy and
like
I
live
feel
a little.
It just gets like a little sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, live a little.
Live a little, guys. So that's my I said what I said. It's sweet and simple and just invite whimsy into your life. Thank you.
So I said what I said is just because you see something online does not make you an expert in that thing. And that is something that I think we all just need to really understand and digest and maybe meditate on that concept for a minute, especially in this time where there's so much going on in the world. There always is, but I think sometimes it just feels more intense. And whether that be political, legal stuff, medical opinions, relationship opinions, like whatever the thing is, just because you see someone post something online and you read that thing or you watched the 5-second reel or whatever it was, it doesn't make it fact. It also doesn't make you an expert in it. And it's okay to watch something or consume some sort of information and to recognize like, oh, I actually don't know a lot about this topic, or recognizing that you could be wrong on something or that could have been fake or like just all the things, right? And so I think that's just something for me where I just get so annoyed when I'm like, okay, great, you watched a 30-second video.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Absolutely. And amplifying that. Absolutely. It's crazy how people just will really run with something they heard. Well, I heard, where did you hear? My favorite is when people make it like they heard something from a friend or like, well, I just was like researching. And I was like, no, babe, that was just like somebody on TikTok. And who is this person? Do you know them? Do you know anything? Like, do they? What?
Yeah.
What is their qualifications?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like everybody, you know, I think it's like such a weird thing in the modern world because like some people are super educated just out of like doing research on their own and whatever. But then also like, yeah, there's a whole lot of like, I'm an expert in this. And it's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And so I love that. I love that so much.
I almost feel like this ties into what you said too, of like, I think if you consume information and you just like run with it every time, how serious life could feel and like how heavy things could feel because you're taking everything as fact. You're taking in so much more information than we're meant to take in. And you're like trying to be an expert on something that like we weren't meant to be experts on everything. And it just takes away from like the fun parts of life, you know, where we can just like enjoy the experience of life and the wonder.
Right. And also like the ability to like have a conversation with somebody or hear like a different perspective or whatever. And I think there's a big difference between like, you know, like bouncing thought off of one another and like, you know, exploring thought together and like a crazy perspective and like being like, well, that's, you know, I think more people need to be willing to be like, hey man, that's crazy that what you just said is crazy. You know what I mean? And we don't really do that. I feel like as a culture. And when we do it like is like really hostile and weird. Yeah. And culturally, I feel like we could grow a lot from just being like, hey, can I ask you about what you just said? And like, you know, coming at it with like a little bit more curiosity and like questioning versus like, you're wrong, you know? But
and now I never want to see you again.
Yeah, exactly.
Those vibes.
Yes. But exactly like you said, like it's like taking away the ability to actually like share thought and like explore, especially when we feel like we're like, no, actually, did you know? If somebody hits me with it, actually, bitch, I can't.
Yeah.
No, literally like that. That's fun. So yeah, I love what you said. I think that's great. I'm so curious what inspired this.
Honestly, nothing. It's just something that I've been thinking about for a while, just mostly in the online space. There hasn't even been something that like someone has shared with me or talked about or anything like that. It's just interesting to watch how people respond to the things that are out there.
Yes, and it's online. Like you can't get online without being confronted with this thing that you're talking about. This is reminding me of like what's been going on with some of the discourse online around a group of women influencers and, you know, some of the recent things that have unfolded. If I open my feed one more time and it's like some woman at home or some man at home who's like has made a career out of this, just like dissecting a relationship or dissecting like the allegations or whatever of people who we do not know's lives and like, you know, sharing the ins and outs and like diagnosing people from like what we see on TV or on screen, I'm gonna lose my mind, you guys, because it's crazy. I'm like, we don't actually know anybody. And you know what? A great example of where I think we were wrong as a culture, this is a tiny tangent, is Britney Spears, because love her. Free Britney, understood it. Okay, at the time I was like, yeah, free Britney. This is crazy. She's a grown woman, blah, blah, blah. Have you seen Britney Spears' Instagram in the last 3 years, in the last 6 months, in the last month? Currently it's down. She got a DUI removed. But my sister and I frequently are exchanging videos of Britney Spears dancing, saying, this is not good. What is going on? Someone needs to help her. My speculation is meth for sure. It's really bad, but like we as a culture, we're like, free Britney, get her out of this. So then like the, you know, people respond and Britney's like, yeah, get me out of this. I don't want to be told how to like spend my money and how to live my life. maybe she needed to be told that. Maybe there's stuff we didn't know.
I think that's it. That's like the whole crux of it all is like there's so much that we don't know. Let's stop pretending like we're experts in the happenings of the world, the happenings of pop culture, even like small business stuff, which I know we both get, where it's like you have customers who are like, well, why is this happening this way? And it's like, well, you don't understand. Like there's a whole other side to this business or this industry or the operations or whatever the thing is. Like you're not an expert in this. Like, let's stop pretending like you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. That's it. It's like
there's more to the story.
There's always more to the story. We're not meant to know everything. Exactly. How boring would life be if we did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Amazing. Okay. Well, our notes are on our phones today, which kind of feels
crazy.
A little weird. But you know what?
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. And I'm really excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about creativity and femininity and all of that. I love our title is Women Are Portals for Creation, and I love that so much.
I mean, literally and figuratively, right? Like we are portals for life. And like when you think about what a portal is, right? It's like a source. It's like it's a source to like bring forth or like change the energy or like go through something. Like I think of the birthing canal as a portal.
Yes.
And like a soul literally travels through our body and is brought earthside. So I'm just saying like, that's incredible.
No, it's such a beautiful image. Yeah. So I think maybe if we just start out with talking about like the feminine and masculine energies and how creativity flows through that or where it fits into those two concepts categorically. And this is something that like when I originally saw this concept of like femininity versus masculinity online a few years ago, I felt like it was kind of such like an abstract topic and it was kind of confusing and sometimes portrayed maybe inaccurately, but ultimately, at least the way I understand it, and I'm curious your thoughts on it, I almost imagine like the yin and yang image of like feminine versus masculine, and we have those qualities within all of us. Like men also have feminine qualities or traits and women have masculine traits, and so it's like this balance of how these traits or energies or qualities are like showing up within us and finding this balance, whatever that balance may look like. And so like feminine energy is like very creative, very like grounded, flow, those kinds of things, versus masculine energy, which is like super goal oriented, very rational, logical, like the brain. It's like brain versus body is kind of how I picture it. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like it's super similar for me. It's and I love what you said about how like we have both and we're kind of, I think like the goal in life, right, is to be balanced in both. And I think the most like masculine, like divine masculinity in my mind, and like a man who is like in his masculine is just as rooted in his feminine, and vice versa for women. And I think we're constantly moving in and out of those things all the time. Like, you know, there might be times where like I think about it a lot when it comes to like running a business. That's like fully for me, like when I am like in the business like mode, I am like in my masculine. I am like in my like, okay, like this process, the structure, the workings, the sort of like I see it visually, like it's a little bit more rigid and a little bit more like it's like almost like rocks, as to where like femininity is softer. It's like water. Yeah, it is. It's like water or flower petals, and it's like it has movement. And when I'm like leaning into my feminine, it's less about like structures and more about feelings, more about like exploration, more about like gentleness. And I think it's like a beautiful thing in life to be able to dance with both of those things, right? And for both men and women. But yeah, I think I agree so much with what you said. And I think it's one of those things where we have like such weird views on it as a society, because a lot of the time I think people hear like, oh, that's a more feminine quality, and like maybe that feels like an insult. To me, like femininity is like the most powerful thing. And I think it's like if we could get more people to lean into like the feminine softness and that like the fluidity between the two. And I'm purely talking about, like, just to be clear for anybody listening, I'm talking about like how we approach problems, how we communicate with people, how we like just kind of, it's more of a subtle quality. I'm not talking about like, I think that's where we really get confused is like we hear femininity and we think that means that like we need to like become feminine
in like appearance
and all these like external
things. Yeah, exactly.
It's an internal thing, right?
Something that I'm thinking about is this concept of doing versus being and how that aligns with this concept of feminine versus masculine, and this concept of like, I don't know if you've heard the phrase like we're human beings, not human doings. And so this, again, these two opposing things of being versus doing. Being is more like in your body, the mindful awareness, the almost like sensuality, the like sensory experience of the thing that you're doing, being in that flow state, really being fully present. And to me, that feels like it has ties to femininity, versus doing, which is very masculine in that it's, again, task oriented, goal oriented, very structured, very, I need to do XYZ thing to achieve X result. Yeah. And both are so important and so good and serve a purpose. And we don't want to necessarily go through our entire life, in the masculine state or in the doing state. And if we were only in our feminine state and had no masculinity or, being versus doing, that also causes issues. So it's that balance. And it, again, is that internal state. It doesn't matter what is being reflected externally or even what you're doing. Like you could be working and be in more of like a feminine flow state, or you could be working, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but like you could be doing something that externally looks like really creative and feminine, but you're doing it from an internal place of doing and masculinity and like, very goal oriented.
Yeah, like production or
like exactly.
Like I feel like capitalism is very masculine.
For sure.
And so we all are like participating in the masculine every day. If you live in the Western world. So yeah, exactly. I love how you said that amplifying that for sure, because it is like, it is the balance. Without it,
they're both so important.
They're essential actually to like each individual's being. And I think we can tune into like maybe where one is out of balance sometimes. Like, we can see that like in the world and certain structures or like ideas we have. We can also like maybe see that in ourselves sometimes. I know when I'm like deep in my masculine, it's been actually like a really important thing for me in my life to like learn to lean into the feminine, because I was raised by like really masculine people, and that like very strong, very like dogmatic, very like structured. And so for a long time I was like super not in touch with my femininity at all, even though like I've always been a sensual being unintentionally and we can talk about that a whole other time. But it was like sometimes I think it came on really strong because it was from like my masculine energy was like so present. And that is scary to a lot of people, myself included. And it's also something that I've like been like, ew, I don't like this about me. I want to soften and I want to be more feminine and I want to be more like myself. It didn't feel like me. And so just bringing that up, because maybe it's unintentional or unconscious for like some of our listeners of, oh, like I actually am super in this structure. And so like today we're going to talk about like kind of ways to lean into femininity a little bit more and just the whole like concept.
I think it can also be where you're at in the context of your life, because I can also picture times in my life where stress was way higher. The career that I was in at the time called for a lot more masculine energy versus feminine energy. And so in that period of my life, I could see where the scale was tipped more, toward the masculine energy. And I lost some of the like softness and some of the like more feminine qualities that maybe I feel more like grounded in today. And so if you're listening and you're like, yeah, that sounds like a nice concept, but it's just not for me right now in the season of life, I think that's fine. Like, I think we all go through different seasons of life where the scales might be tipped in a slightly different way. And so just want to normalize that.
Yeah, I think it's circumstantial. I love that you said that, because it is circumstantial. Like, right? Sometimes we have to dig deeper into the masculine, and other times we have to dig deeper into the feminine to like bring compassion or whatever to a situation. So I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
very
an important concept. So the connection between like creativity and sensuality and femininity and sexuality and all of these things, I think is so fun to think about, where we can think about creativity, I think, in its most basic form of like, well, I'm just creating something, like in that, and we'll get to examples toward the end of like specific ways that we can create. But there's this like thread of sensuality being like where we're so in tune with our senses, our sensory experience. And so anything that we're doing, we have the opportunity, even in this moment, and if you're listening, you could do this now too, of just being fully in tune with the sensory experience that you're having. And I feel like the thread connecting that to creativity is, again, you could be creating something for the sake of production, or could be creating something or being creative in some way for the sense of being fully immersed in the sensory experience, and that connecting to something like sexuality. And again, not just for sex specifically, although definitely that too, but being in tune with our body, really like truly dropping into our body and finding pleasure in the physical experiences that we're having, or the sensory experiences that we're having. So there's like this thread between all of these things. And when we're tapping into like our feminine energy and our creative energy, I feel like all of these other things kind of light up as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. The thing about like being, it's, to me, it's like being embodied, right? Like when we're embodied and we're fully like in our body and grounded in our body, and like kind of not like pulled in every direction, and we're like really in ourselves, like those things kind of all come online. And I think like sensuality is a great like term to really like highlight what it is to be embodied. And all of the, it's like the Venn diagram of all of the intersection of all of these things, like creativity, sexuality, sensuality in the center. Like I think one of the like shared parts of those experiences are being embodied,
for sure,
and being present in our body, and being able to like really drop in and tune in and be grounded. And I think a big part of that is a big part of creativity. Like when we're creative, right? Or when we're playing and we're more playful, I mean, for me, I'm not going to say all of us, but I think this is true for all of us. If we're like in a creative flow state, or if we're like in a playful state, we naturally feel more sensual and sexual. And I don't mean, like you stated, like I don't mean like, oh, I'm like aroused, or like it's like for sex. It's like I feel more sexual. I feel more myself. I feel like more in line with my sexuality, and more expressive and embodied in that way. And I think creativity is such a big part of that, because as women, like it's actually one of the most important things for us, is to like get to play and be creative and create. Like, even if I want to like say this too for our listeners, you don't have to be good at whatever you're like. This is one of the biggest traps we fall into as a society, is that like, well, I'm not a good artist, so I'm not going to create art. Oh my gosh, please create art, you know, because that's actually a big part of your femininity, and of this like divine feminine expression, and tuning into our sensuality, our sexuality, movement, dancing, and not dancing for like a choreographed dance, or like dancing to look good or pleasing, like just truly like primal movement that brings all that online. And that like actually like in an energetic sense, like, right, it moves like our energy centers, it opens our hips, it gets all of the movement in our chakra system going. And like in an energetic sense, like that actually literally like clears out stagnant energy. Not to get too woo woo for you guys, but hey, this is who I am. Yeah, like doing like primal movement that's just like not not thinking about like how I look.
Mm-hmm.
A great way to practice that and like to bring some of that online is to like turn on some music. I like to turn on, for these specific things, I like to turn on like medicine songs, like some more tribal music, or like drums, or like women like singing, or like making sounds, not necessarily like, I also do love to turn on like pop hits or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
They both
just find like what
feels good.
Yeah.
But like go in a room and you can turn off the lights, or you can have the lights on, whatever, but just like don't look in the mirror, don't think about how you look, like just move your body.
Yeah.
And that actually can really like open your central channel up and like bring in some of that energy that helps inspire and helps embody that like sensual, sexual, creative energy.
No, absolutely. I'm thinking too about just how when you're engaging in creative acts, whatever that looks like, how our bodies tend to kind of have that exhale where like we get to breathe a little deeper, our shoulders can drop. Like when we're doing it from a place of being fully immersed in the thing, not from a place of trying to like be productive or to do it right or to look a certain way, but truly just doing it from a place of like being so grounded and like in flow in whatever it is that you're creating. It just gives our body a chance to actually exhale instead of where most of us spend our time is shallow breathing and tension within our body, and our shoulders are raised up to our ears, and like none of that's super fun. Like we don't enjoy being in that state, but a lot of us live in that state on a day-to-day basis. And so giving your body a chance to just fully exhale and allow that energy, like you mentioned, to like really move, like be awakened and like open and move up through you, just impacts so many different things in your life. So it's this is like a greater picture than just like creating something.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about, as you were saying that, I'm also thinking about like not judging ourselves while we're doing it. Cause I feel like when we create from a place of productivity or like production, of course we're judging because we like want it to be worthy of consumption.
Yep.
But what if like what if the most worthy of consumption things are like actually like just the real raw pure like humanness, and to remove the element of judgment, right? And I think that that's just an important thing to mention in this conversation too, as we're exploring this, because it's part of exhaling. Like you can't exhale if you're like critically looking at something like, this doesn't look good, you know, this isn't, I'm not good at this, I'm not good enough to do this, or I'm a terrible artist, or I can't draw, or whatever, right? Like whatever, that I look silly.
All the thoughts and the stories,
all the chatter.
So I think this is a good place to talk about some of the like creating from a place of play and curiosity versus trying to like commodify or produce something, because there is such a different quality when you're, and again, neither are good or bad necessarily. It just depends on the context in which you're trying to create. But if we're trying to tap into a place of more femininity, then it would be leaning into this thought of like creating from a place of curiosity and play and fantasy, or like whatever the thing is, right? Versus trying to create from a place of, well, I want to monetize this in some way, or I'm trying to, you know, produce, I don't know, you know, all the things that we want to do in like a production type of way. So there's a very different quality to those two forms of creating.
Yeah, absolutely. This has like been on my mind a lot when it comes to like spiritual work, because I feel like we are kind of in this weird place in society right now where like a lot of the stuff that's online or like that we are consuming, like on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, like a lot of the time we're creating information or creating content from a place of commodification, right? Like I'm trying to commodify this like thing I'm doing to get people to consume more of it. And that has like, I don't know where, somewhere along the lines in the last few months, that became like a really sticky feeling for me. And I had to like I've pulled back because I want to create from a place of like pure inspiration, not commodification, and the pressure commodification puts on things. I think that can be really hard. And like you said, the different qualities that they have, I think are like direct experiences to like our embodiment, and like truly like almost being like a channel for like information or like wisdom, or like what's asking to be like talked about outside of like, okay, like today I'm going to get online and, oh, well, I saw this person talk about this and like I should talk about this because I know about that. Or like, let's see, like, what's my content pillar today? And I like you said, neither is like bad or good. It just is. And we go through different phases in life, like where that served me at a time to be in that place.
Right. Yeah.
And right now I'm trying to like pull back on that, because something I've really realized is you actually like can't commodify spirituality. You actually like, to commodify it is to like actually like distort it and taint it a little bit. And like, how do you explain a spiritual relationship with someone, like or with like spirit or with the earth or whatever? Like, how do you like package that up? Or like, you know, it's really hard to do. And I feel like that is like a great example of like dancing in between the masculine and the feminine, right? Like, yeah, I don't know how to finish that thought.
No, I love that you brought up spirituality, because I do think that's a good point to bring up in regards to femininity and creativity and all of those things, because I feel like, again, there's that thread that can be woven through all of these concepts, where spirituality is like, you know, it's not just faith in something greater than yourself, although that's a big part of it for a lot of people in spirituality, but it's like a connection to something so much deeper and richer. And in that, it's almost like stepping away from the masculine to really be like deep in your sense of spirituality, because it requires like groundedness and being in that flow state and being open to like an experience that you're having. Right. We're not like engaging in spirituality, again, whatever that looks like for you. We're not engaging in that to commodify it or to like produce something specific or to whatever the thing is, right? It's like a whole different experience, which feels much more like a feminine experience. So yeah, again, I think when we're able to tap into like that feminine energy, all of these things come back online, of like spirituality, sensuality, creativity, sexuality, etc. So yeah, there's a nice thread that's being woven.
Yeah, I love that. It's like going into the womb of life. Like I think, enter the womb space as humans, as grown beings, over and over and over again throughout our lives, and we go through like the portal of like rebirth. And I think that it is like, when like what you're talking about is like going into that womb space, really immersing yourself into all of those things, and then like out the other side, like the rebirth, going through the birthing canal and like being reborn. Because we go through rebirths, it's like, that's like a whole other conversation, but we go through deaths and rebirths all the time. Yeah. And the rebirth, that's actually maybe where the like production or the like concise, and it doesn't have to be that by any means, but it's almost like once you're out of that like cave, that's maybe where more of that like other energy comes in. When you're in the womb is where like the play happens, and the deconstruction and the exploration, and sort of the sort of like coming to form, the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Love the imagery of a womb.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about things that interfere with creativity, because holy smokes, the list is probably so long. The first thing that came to mind when I was just thinking about this concept this morning before we started was how technology as a whole, whether that be social media, AI, whatever, technology as a whole, I think really shuts off or turns the volume way down on our ability to think creatively and to really tap into our sensuality and feminine energy. Like, I can just think of the times where I find myself, like if I catch myself scrolling, I'm so disconnected from my body. I'm complete, and that's kind of why I'm doing it, right? I'm like, I'm gonna check out for a minute, totally disconnected from my body. I'm not in like a mindful state. I'm not present. I'm not grounded. I'm not anchored into the moment. All of those things are essential to like be in a more feminine space and to be in a creative space. And so I think technology as a whole, if we're using it as, one of the main building blocks in our life, we're going to be super disconnected from a creative energy as a whole.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, because I just, as you were saying that, I was thinking about getting on a cell phone, right? And like, even if you're not just opening your phone up, it's like all so distracting and there's so much there. And when we're online, I think sometimes we move out of the space of, we're really in our heads. Even when we're disconnected, we're like in our heads consuming like, oh, what's this person talking about? Or what is like trending now?
Yeah.
What is, and so then what happens, I think sometimes, like for me at least, is then I'm like, sometimes like I should be doing this, or like, oh, my creativity or my inspiration is coming from what other people are doing and not coming from a place of what is like literally trying to be born within me.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer.
It is.
It's a real, like, it truly is like a big part of the disconnection. And I also love that you brought up AI, because I have like such weird feelings about AI. At first I was kind of like, okay, like this is a great tool, made my job a lot fucking easier at work. Because like I don't have it in me to be like inspired about certain topics all the time.
Yeah.
Specifically, and when I say my job, I mean like my bill paying job, which is social media, like content advertising for small businesses. And it's hilarious. Like I joke sometimes because I'm like, yeah, I do use AI to create some of this content because believe it or not, I'm not that passionate about pizza.
Yeah.
Like, believe it or not, you guys, I'm not super inspired about like canned fish.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm doing that sometimes. But as I've like walked down the path, and as like we've kind of been in this AI world for like what, like a year now, over a year, I don't know.
Definitely longer than that, but I think the height of it has really, yeah,
like the popularization or like the use of like Chat GPT, right?
Yeah, it's blown up, I think, over the last year.
Yeah, for sure. And since then, like where I'm at today with it is like, oh, this is like not good. This is not, it feels really disconnecting, and it feels really like we're outsourcing all of our thinking. And I'm like, wait a second, the whole
all of our creative energy, everything,
the whole essence of humanity is to like question, think, create. And if we're like outsourcing that, I think we're in trouble. And then like, for the sake of this conversation, I will not get into all the environmental like impacts, because like the water usage is crazy. And you guys, I'm just saying, like, drinkable water, Google it. Google where it's going and Google how much there is left and how many people there are on the planet. Like, we're going to be in trouble eventually. And like more data centers are being built, whole other conversation. But we're just, it's just feels sticky and yucky, and like maybe not like the best use of like our human. I think it has a place and a purpose. A great use of it is like, you know, can you summarize this legal document I don't want to read?
Sure, it can be like a nice tool that you can leverage, but yeah, when you're using it to like outsource all of your creativity, it's a problem. I saw something, I've been thinking about this recently, of like, you can tell when someone wrote something with AI for the most part. I mean, I think sometimes people just have a more like dry way of writing things, and that's fine. But I was thinking about how my own desire to like create more content from my own inspiration, not just from like trying to outsource some of the creativity or whatever. And I am like the queen of typos. Like I make so many typos, and there's something that feels like almost romantic about being able to see someone's writing that has like typos and errors and whatever. And maybe don't be like super sloppy, whatever. Like some people might be like, oh, that's unprofessional, whatever. But it's like, this is my time to shine. It's like people can actually see like, no, I wrote, like a human wrote this. I wrote this from my heart or from my own inspiration or what's going on in my life. And so it's just those little things of like just being okay with like being clumsy and stumbling and making the little mistakes for the sake of, you know, maintaining the creative energy that we all have instead of just being so quick to outsource it all. And so, that's, I think, an important thing just for us all to get curious about.
Absolutely. I love that. Another like block that we kind of have talked about together is, stress. Like, something that blocks creativity can be like your day-to-day life. Like, if you're super stressed out, it's going to be really hard to sit down and like want to create or want to feel inspired, because your nervous system is like, hey, I'm fighting for my life right now.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to like want to think about like a project I want to immerse myself in, or like how I can, be playful or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like another place we get trapped, or can be like a big block for this creative experience.
Yeah, it's like if your nervous system is so like in that survival mode state of like, I'm just trying to get by, like whether you be in more of like a fight or flight situation or just completely shut down and frozen, your brain, like the parts of your brain that like allow for creativity and all of these like fun expressions of creativity is not online. Like that's not essential for survival, right? We don't need that. And so yeah, it's like it's really hard to tap into creativity if you're just like so overwhelmed and stressed. And that's, I think, just going back to the point made at the beginning of this episode, is like if you're in a season of life that is a little more stressful, then yeah, it's going to be harder to feel creative, and that's okay. Like it's nice to kind of acknowledge that and hopefully start moving your way out of that at some point, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We have to meet ourselves where we're at all times.
Yes. Yeah.
And, maybe that's something you want to change, or like you're not loving that element of life. So you're like, well, how can I inspire more of that? I would just start with like literally the arriving in your body, the breath, the check-in, the body scan, those moments where it's like, okay, maybe I'm not able to like be playful and create and all of that right now because my nervous system is in this place.
Yeah.
But what I can do is like just arrive in my body as often as possible, even if it's once a day or once a week, like just creating that moment to really like drop in and start to clear the channels. Yeah, I would say that, because the only way you're gonna get out of that space, even if life is like super externally stressful, is to like, meet it with some medicine and some nourishment. And it's just, it all starts with like the breath, the brain body connection, the arrival, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Is this the OG somatic experiencing?
Oh, it is. Yeah, the OG somatic experiencing is like
sensuality.
Sensuality is embodiment, is like
being like in touch with your senses. Yeah, your body, being fully in your body.
Yeah, and like creative.
Yeah.
I mean,
whoa.
I love that. I love that. It's like, it's almost like primal, right? It's almost like our nature to like be there. And so that totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like innately there. Sometimes we just have to tap into it.
Tap in.
Okay, unconventional forms of creation, to kind of wrap it up, just giving you guys like some really specific ideas in terms of like if you want to get your creative juices flowing. I kind of hate that phrase, actually.
Yeah, me too. Weird.
Okay, is there another way to say that?
I don't know. I mean, like we all use it, right? But like it's like,
it almost feels gross. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I wish I could. The visual I'm getting right now, I don't know.
Okay, but get your creativity flowing.
Yeah, to be inspired.
Yes.
Yeah, to get inspired. If you just want to be inspired. Yeah. Because I think that's the first step of creativity, is inspiration. And to like, my Buddhist teacher has been talking to me about this a lot. To inspire means to literally like spire like means breath to the Buddhist. And so like inspire is to like take in like something and like breathe it out and to like feed this like thing.
Yeah.
I've been talking about inspiration a lot.
I love that.
So I love this.
Yeah.
This is actually like, wow, so full circle. And I'm just realizing it right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Cute.
Very fun.
Yeah. So some of the things that like we just jotted down, like art for examples, are like dancing. I mean, I kind of talked about that already, but like moving your body.
Yeah.
Without judgment, I love dancing.
Okay, after this weekend of going out dancing, I was like, why do we not do we have like a dance? Do we have around anything here dance related around here?
I think there's like you're gonna laugh. I think there's like line dancing over in like Gearhart or something, or like square dancing. LOL.
I'm just wondering if that's the vibe. Maybe for some people, I don't know.
That's not the vibe for me. My mom loved to line dance back in the day, which is so funny to me and cute. But no, I know, like going dancing with friends, going out and just dancing with your girlies is the most special thing. And I love that you got to do that.
Yeah, going out and dancing, or like you said, just doing it on your own in your own space. Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a place around here. I mean, I suppose you could dance anywhere.
Yeah. We'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
I feel like writing is also another great way to like tap into creativity. And again, like doing that for yourself. It doesn't have to be for other people. You don't need to post it online.
Yeah.
You don't need to share it with anyone, but just writing, journaling.
Yes.
Poetry.
All of it.
Yeah.
I've actually been seeing on Pinterest a lot, like if you're feeling like stuck with writing, because sometimes I have that. I journal a lot, but like I will have days where I like don't really know what to say, or I'll just like start talking about like whatever's happening for me. But I've been seeing on Pinterest, there's like journal prompts, like posts people make.
Oh yeah.
And like they're super beautiful.
Yeah.
And cute, like aesthetically pleasing, but then also like some of the like nuggets that they have in there. And so if you're wanting to write more, or you like want to explore that creation, sometimes it's just a word. The like like writing prompt is just like one word or like a concept or an idea, kind of like the writer's workshop that or like the writers sharing that like we've attended. They have a theme, and it's just like the word is the what you write about. And so that's kind of fun, because it's like, then it's a little more fluid, but that's a great way to explore, or just if you don't know where to begin in writing, there is like help out there to just kind of like get your brain, and maybe the word is like this thing, and then you're writing about something entirely different, because that's how writing kind of works.
It just sparks a thought.
Yeah.
I think that's just a good point in general of like, sometimes we need to get inspired in some way, whether that be from someone else. Pinterest is a great place for inspiration, or like getting some thoughts started to then kind of carry you through. So just having that little spark of inspiration helps.
Love that.
We've kind of talked about play a little bit too, just like being silly and playing and having fun, whether that be like if you have kids or kids in your life, like actually playing and using your imagination. So fun.
So fun. Yeah. Before we started recording this, I was telling Kayla, like, I play hide and seek like 3 times a week. Honestly, it's so fun. If you haven't played hide and go seek for a long time, like go play it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's just like, so I don't know why we ever stopped playing hide and go seek. Turn the lights off, make it a little scary. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. But I also was just thinking about like this weekend, I was with my youngest nephew, and he was not feeling his best, but he wanted to go outside and play. It was like really sunny on Saturday. And so we went outside to play, and he's a character. So he just like whatever he's feeling at the time, he was feeling Darth Vader at the time. And so we went outside to play Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars.
Same.
Yeah. So I had no idea what we were doing, but he was like, we're going to play Star Wars. And he was training me how to like be a soldier for him. And I was cracking up because we were playing in our yard, which is visible by a main road. And like, I'm just out there like play fighting, doing like karate kicks and like
so funny,
playing with a sword and like all these things. And I was just thinking to myself, like anybody driving by is probably like, what is happening? And typically like I can see where people would be like, that's so embarrassing, I'm not doing that. We had so much fun. And was that like play that necessarily I enjoyed or was for me? No, but like I just was not thinking about anything for a while.
Yeah,
and I
like
was
you're fully immersed in whatever the thing is that you're doing.
Yeah, I was on a ship learning how to go, I don't know, attacking robots, cyborgs, I don't remember. But nonetheless, like I was just thinking about that as we were having some of this conversation of like, sometimes even playing isn't for us, it's like for someone else, but to just let yourself be immersed in it, like that in itself is very so fun, so good. You know, it's nourishing. Yeah.
Gardening is a great way to create, where it could also feel like a task, right? So it depends on how you approach it, but it has the potential to be like really creative and fun, and finding ways to kind of like just really like get your hands dirty and feel connected to the earth, and bringing things to life through seeds or whatever it is that you're planting, making bouquets from the things that grow. Like,
yes.
So fun to do that as like just a little form of creation, right? It doesn't have to be a big act.
No, and I love that you brought up the earth element. Like exactly what I
Mhm.
was going to say is like just getting your hands in the dirt in itself, so good for you, so grounding, so bringing that sensuality forward because you're just like touching like, the earth, which can be very sensual. But yeah, exactly. Like making a centerpiece for your table, like decorating for the season, like beautifying a space, like you said, like whether that's where you sit and have dinner every day or, a mantle or just like your own little space, like your little nook, bringing beautification in with flowers or whatever, right? Like whatever makes you feel like I love this space.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Yeah. Whether it be a room, like you said, or just like a tiny little corner of your house or your nightstand or like whatever it is, right? Just finding ways to like beautify it and make it feel like you love what you see because you created it and, picked things out that you love. That's, again, such a small way of like bringing creativity forward in life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What else? Oh, making babies. Honestly, like quite literally, babies are a creation.
Yes.
But also just like sex. I feel like the world needs to be having more sex. I don't remember the stats fully, but it's like alarming how little sex people are having these days.
Yeah, kids, kids. Teenagers are having less sex. Like
everyone across the board.
And that's crazy. Are you kidding me? One of the best, and you guys, this may be controversial and maybe I will regret saying this. Making out with someone at 17.
So fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
Like,
bring it back.
What a feeling. Yeah. 17-year-olds need to make out more. God damn it.
Yeah, but also apparently like everyone. Gen Z, millennials, and forward.
Everyone.
Yeah.
The seeds are planted in your youth, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So let's have more sex. It's a form of creativity.
And it's like, can be playful.
So playful.
And it can be awkward and weird, but like, I was talking about this with my sister. I was like, can we just like get down on the ground about how sex is actually like hilariously awkward as a whole concept? Like, like when it can be like, it's like fumbly and kind of like really primal. And like sometimes like there's moments where it's like, well, this like there's unsexual parts of sex that are like reality or like but that's actually part of like the play and the like
it is like, oh, you laugh about like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened, or like that was a cute sound, or like whatever the thing is,
exactly. But that's like part of it.
Yeah.
And that's also part of the embodiment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Yeah. Well, I think that covers everything on our list. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, I would just say like explore, like explore for yourselves what feels true. Creation is like such a like open, vast thing. And so whatever that means, for you as a listener, for us, like this is something that we all can explore more and embody more. And as women, like these are our gifts, like in a big way. And I like hearing like, like the world's having less sex. I also feel like the world is like less embodied and less sensual and less like we're really disconnected. And so maybe some of the ways we like all just nourish ourselves is exploring this stuff. So
I love that. I think that's a perfect place to end.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next week.